this week, we're going to hear from Deanne Shallcross. Some of you might remember Deanne from different worlds. She used to run Rosehill, but she's been, I think it's such a grand, she's a commissioner. She's a Whitehaven Harbour commissioner. I hope I've got that right. I don't know whether this is one of them or whether she's one of a group of them, but I suspect she's the queen of Whitehaven. So she's going to tell us what she's been up to and also what's going on with the Rum Story, ideas for how the Rum Story can evolve and develop, amongst other things as well. And also the great plan and set of events that took place over the summer along the harbour side in Whitehaven. I think there's plans to replicate that or maybe even do more this year. So we'll hear more about that. Anne Waggatt-Knott, who a lot of you will know, is going to tell us about an art trail that is taking place soon in Workington and some commissions available to help people make that brilliant. So we're going to hear about what's going on there, some commissions available, as I said. And then we're going to have a little tour of Art Gene. I don't know whether anyone's been to Art Gene. I'm sure a lot of you have in Barrow. But there's not one but two new exhibitions opening there. I think tonight is when they're opening. And so we're going to find out. There's Maddie and there's Rachel. I can't believe they've got time to talk to us, but somehow they've found 15 minutes or so. So we're going to have a live look around Art Gene in that lovely building in Barrow and find out what the plan is for the exhibitions there. So that is what we're going to do this morning. Fingers crossed. And I hope Ian's exciting journey to Preston doesn't terminate before the end of the call. And I think just looking at who's on the call this morning, there's a real cross-section of geographical locations in Cumbria as well, which is always nice to reflect. So that is the plan. So we're going to kick off with just a reflection on Catalyst. Kate, this is a collaboration between the Cumbria Arts and Culture Network, the Cumbria Local Enterprise Partnership, Art Gene, and the University of Cumbria. So that's quite a complicated thing to get off the ground. So how's it gone?
Well, so far, lots of interest, lots of good questions, some applications already. If for those of you who haven't heard or were not on last week's call, Catalyst is 3 fantastic creative residencies, each with a fee of £25,000. The residencies will begin in May this year and run through to February next. They're for early to mid-career artists of any discipline. And we want people to respond to Cumbria with its issues, its communities, its challenges, its industries, its landscapes, whatever gets you excited. So Amy has put the details in the chat. You can go straight to the Art Gene website to find more details, including the brief to artists. You have until the 3rd of March to get your proposal in, and then we'll be shortlisting in the couple of weeks after that. This is a UK-wide call, but we are looking for people who have a strong and authentic commitment to Cumbria. That's important. Clearly, if you live here, then you're already winning in that respect. So yeah, please do have a look and be ambitious and give it a whirl, because we're looking forward to hearing from you. Just what I will say is that what on my list of things to do today is to produce an FAQ document that we will also get onto the Art Gene website so that we can start to gather some of the queries that we're receiving. But if you have a question, you'll find where to go with that question on the Art Gene website, and don't be shy. No question is silly. We really want to make this a realistic possibility for all of you creatives out there. If anybody has got a quick question now, we can take it, but otherwise pop me a message in chat or go to the Art Gene website for more information.
Thank you, Kate. I can't see any quick questions, so no doubt people will get in touch with you directly as and when they need to. But we had a bit of coverage in all sorts of things. And thank you, by the way, to everyone who's been sharing the option. I know, it's a competitive world out there, etc., but actually there's a very generous spirit in Cumbria and on this call. So anything that anyone can still do just to share the information about that project, to get it to the people that actually we want to get through to, then please feel free to do that as well.
That is a very good point. Thank you, Tom. Any networks that you have regionally and nationally in your discipline, any organisation you can share it with, please do. We'd really appreciate that.
Okay, good to hear that's off running. And March the 3rd is the closing date, so still plenty of time to get your stuff together. Right, Amy, thank you, Kate. Amy, give us a bit of a lowdown before we get to the main dish of the day about sessions coming up that the network has organised.
I've just realised we've actually got Chris Bridgman on the call, who has organised all of our events, so he might want to say something, but I'll share the screen, just directing everyone to our events page. All of our events are on Eventbrite, but you'll find the links here. So this is kind of the central hub. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to say any more, Chris, but yeah, we've got lots of things coming up. We've got meetups, which are by sector. They're free to attend, taking place in the evening, so hopefully most people can make those slots. And we've got a workshop coming up as well with Harriet Fraser and Rob Fraser about environmental challenges and how the cultural sector can respond. So yeah, I'll pop that link into chat, but keep looking at our website because we've got lots of interesting things coming up.
Lovely stuff. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Chris, for organising. And I just wanted to let you know that the next face-to-face big meet, as we now call them, will be on May the 1st at Reged. So it'll be the morning, and there'll be some lunch there as well. And we're looking at focusing it on fundraising or income coming in. So don't be worried too much about fundraising, much more about there will be stuff about fundraising, but also what other ways are there of being creative in trying to pull money in to fund your practice or your institution or the bit of the Cumbrian sector cultural sector in Cumbria where you work. So May the 1st at Reged, normally about 60, 70 people come to these things. They're usually pretty interesting, but they're also great just to see people, meet people and share stuff as well. So May the 1st at Reged, more details on that to come, but if you want to pop that in your diary, hopefully it will be something that's worth coming to. A couple of guest speakers lining up already from various places. Right, let's move on and let's see what's going on in West Cumbria as far as Whitehaven is concerned. Deanne Shallcross, I introduced her earlier. She's with us. She's got a picture of a lighthouse. Is that that's part of the on the promenade or whatever it's called in Whitehaven.
It is
Deanne,
well spotted, yeah.
there's two of them, aren't there? Is there two?
There are two of them. I'm
Right,
impressed, Tom. Yeah.
West Cumbrian knowledge is slowly getting better. Deanne, it's great to have you back with us again.
Thank
and
you.
Deanne, the floor is yours, and Amy will pick up your slides to tell us a bit about what's going on in your world and also the exciting things going on in Whitehaven over the coming months and period of time ahead. So over to you.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Tom. And hello, everybody. It is really great to be back. I'm sorry I've missed these calls. We normally have a team meeting on a Friday morning, so it kind of clashes. But I've switched things around, and it's lovely to be back. And I am going to try my very hardest to get onto more of these in future. So I am a CEO at Whitehaven Harbour Commissioners. I've been here for just over 6 months. I was previously CEO of Rosehill. And before that, I was 27 years as a local journalist, local newspaper journalist, and latter years editor. So a bit of a career change. I fell into being the CEO by accident. I got involved myself by being a volunteer board of commissioners on the board of commissioners in summer 2022. So I got sucked into it. We've been working together with Rosehill, with WHC, getting involved in the activities, the events, the summer events programme, and my marketing and comms experience. And my husband and I are water sports enthusiasts as well. And we're also hobby musicians. So with all of that combined, I thought, I wanted to give something back. I wanted to learn from other boards as well. So I decided to give my time into doing that. And then the then CEO announced he was leaving last year. So the board asked me to step across into the full-time paid role, which was a bit of a shock. It wasn't kind of what I was planning to do, but I absolutely love it and I wouldn't be anywhere else. So the Harbour Commissioners themselves were a statutory harbour authority, and we're a trust port, which means we manage and maintain the 400-year-old harbour. Mainly for the benefit of all, really. All our revenue goes back into directly supporting the harbour and the wider community. We are a body corporate with perpetual successions. We've got no shareholders, no owners. We have powers and duties that are set out in Acts of Parliament or harbour orders. And we're ultimately focused on the history and heritage. And Importantly, our harbour walls and lock gates stop the town from flooding. So we have a really, really important role. We're regulated by the Department for Transport, and we have a breadth of duties that we're required to carry out to keep the harbour and all its users safe, really. But it's not just about that. Obviously, the harbour itself, as you can see, is the most amazing place. And we love helping people have fun too and enjoying the wonderful space. It's also an amazing cultural centre. It's one big stage and it's a fantastic venue where you can express yourself and really be creative. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about that next. So next slide, please. So this is our local team. We have a wide remit. We've got a very small team, not just those two, we have more. There's 13 in total, but it's a full-time equivalent of just under 9. So we work with a lot of external consultants as well and experts in their own field, and we really couldn't do what we do without them. There's as I mentioned before, there's the volunteer board of commissioners. So there are 9 in addition to me. So me in my role, I am also a commissioner, and then we have 9 volunteers. And they set the strategy, they scrutinise, they also ensure compliance with all our statutory requirements. And I absolutely couldn't do what I do without them. They're a huge support. Our team are all local, and most of them actually are born and bred in the area. And people think harbour commissioners are kind of middle-aged suits who sit in ivory towers, make decisions, play God when it comes to rules and regulations about the harbour, and put parking charges up just to line their own pockets. But honestly, this couldn't be further from the truth. This particular photo, this is of Louise, our Rum Story manager, and Paul, who's actually one of the parking enforcement officers, but he's one of the amazing members of the team that just rolls up his sleeves and gets involved with absolutely anything. He can be running the bar one minute, he can be running the stall at an event, another, and they're wonderful. And they really are kind of information officers. They love their job and they love talking to people when they're out and about. So these two, they were selling and promoting our own Jefferson's rum at Taste Cumbria. And we have a range of Cumbrian and Borders-based products that we sell in the Rum Story shop. Yes, mainly alcohol is in the photo, but of course other products are available as well. Next slide, please. So yes, that is another of our lighthouses. So as Tom said before, we've got 2. As well as the standard maintenance, we try to improve the area where we can. A recent example would be both the lighthouses, which serve a serious purpose. They obviously help seafarers avoid rocks and grounding. But thanks to a recent community-led refurbishment programme, they now also look really, really lovely too. The vista from both the sea and on land is so much nicer than it used to be. And there was so much love among the community when the lighthouses were refurbished. And as part of the Deep Time Art Commission, that I'm sure most of you are aware of, they've both had speakers installed recently, and they'll soon be emitting the sound of a conch shell on the hour, every hour, for 5 minutes. And this is meant to acknowledge the sound of the sea and also Whitehaven's sensitive history with enslavement. The artwork has been produced by Susan Phillips as part of the Deep Time Commission, and it should be live very soon. We're just working with Cumberland Council around the finer details and finalising the interpretation boards and making sure we get the message right as well, because obviously it's got a very, very sensitive connection. With many of our projects, we rely on grant funding. We only have a relatively small commercial revenue that we drive ourselves. Ongoing maintenance, as you can imagine, a 400-year-old harbour, it's a real challenge. So while we would love the opportunity to add lots more pretty things around the harbour, we do have to prioritise. But we do have some more things that we're hoping to be able to do this year. Fingers crossed and storms permitting. I have a lot of sleepless nights when it's a stormy night. I come in the next morning wondering if any of the old quays are still going to be there or if they've been demolished and disappeared off into the sea up the Solway somewhere. But okay, next slide, please. So yeah, we collaborate to present feel-good family events, as you can see there. So this was taken at Whitehaven Harbour Commissioners' inaugural Harbour Fest in partnership with Rosehill Arts Trust in summer 2022. And I was CEO at Rosehill at the time. And through collaboration, we were able to offer this amazing free family festival. It removed most of the barriers to attendance. It was on our open-to-all, fully accessible harbour. It was free, non-ticketed. It encouraged engagement in a post-pandemic world where we were really struggling to get people back. And it really raised awareness of the work of both the Rosehill team and the Harbour Commissioners as well. So it was amazing, and we were able to do a second Harbourfest last year. I'm delighted to confirm, hot off the press, a third will be taking place this year, later this summer. So we're working with Rosehill again, and we're just starting all the planning and the details of that. So watch this space. Next slide, please. This photo was taken at Harbour Sessions, and this was a series of monthly Harbourside gigs in spring and summer last year. And that was an inaugural initiative presented in collaboration with All My Days Promotions. We gave a platform to a range of Cumbrian artists who performed under the hub near the slipway. It's kind of like a bandstand, but so much more than that. And it brought a real feel-good experience to the harbour and entertained passers-by who were able to enjoy a variety of music for free. And again, hot off the press, delighted to confirm, we've just secured 15,000 from the Robin Rig Community Fund to repeat Harbour Sessions this year. So again, we're going to be working with All My Days, working with Tom Salmon, who uses a solar-powered PA to present all the music and everything. So it's quite fitting that we've kind of been funded by the Robin Rig Wind Farm for all of that. So, you know, it's great. That renewables link is fantastic. And we're going to be doing them on a Sunday lunchtime this year. Hopefully start in April. We're just finalising the details around that. And again, featuring a range of Cumbrian singer-songwriters and just giving them a really good platform to put their names out there. And part of that funding is also what's allowing us to once again partner with Rosehill for Harbourfest. So I'm really looking forward from a personal level to working with the old team again, alongside the now new team as well. Next slide, please. So as I said before, our harbour is just one big stage, really. And we have, you know, we've got Pride by the Harbour side is going to return this year as well. We have the Leyland Daft Vintage Transport event that happens regularly in the spring. There'll be the festive fireworks display with the town council again just before Christmas. And this year we've got some new things coming up. We've got pop-up music events in collaboration with Soundwave. There's going to be an emergency services day that's being led by the local RNLI, but will feature a lot of the local blue light services. Whitehaven Alive is also due to return. We're just finalising the details with the organisers and hoping to publicise that fairly soon. And there's a variety of other artist-led events that were being discussed at the moment. So again, keep an eye on our socials and websites for updates. So as you can see, we're so much more than just a harbour that looks pretty and lets boats in every now and again. And we absolutely love making use of our space to present unusual creative opportunities. We can't finance most of them ourselves, but if somebody does have funding for a project and wants to deliver part or all of it on the harbour, then please, we'd love to hear from you for just different initiatives and ideas. Okay, next slide, please. So, yeah, it's a fun and exciting place to live and work, as you can see. This was taken at last year's Harbourfest, not your typical residence, obviously. The harbour is considered the jewel in West Cumbria's crown, and we really do feel privileged to be based here, and we love having fun. As I said, you know, it is our happy place. Personally, I pinch myself every day. It's amazing to be doing the job that we do. You know, even when bits are falling off, the ancient quays, or rain is pouring in through the Georgian building at the Rum Story on Lowther Street, it is still the most amazing privileged job in the world. I think so anyway. Next slide, please. So this is, I'm just going to talk briefly about the Edge. So this is Cumbria's Coastal Activity Centre being built on the harbour side at the moment. I keep telling everybody it should be sponsored by Marmite because people either love it or hate it. It's actually been about 10 years in the making, so way back before me. It came about after some serious storm damage in about 2014, and it all came out with a plan to develop a coastal activity centre. And the delays have obviously there's been a massive delay around the pandemic. There's been supply chain issues, so it has had its frustrations, but progress is happening amazingly well now, and fingers crossed we're going to be open kind of late summer, early autumn. It's predominantly about being a community space. It will have performance areas, a small stage, there'll be meeting rooms, there'll be a mezzanine level, which we suspect will be the most popular space in the building. We're going to call it the Lookout. And that photo on the right is pretty much the view that you will get from it. Obviously, some of that will be paneling. It's not all windows that there's clad in there now. But as you can see, you know, having a meeting in there or something would be absolutely fantastic. There'll also be a small cafe, and there'll be changing rooms for kind of, you know, for wet sports areas, and 6 16 ensuite hotel rooms, and importantly for Whitehaven, accessible public toilets. So there's a small stage where people will be able to perform, and very much the purpose of the Edge is about providing a community service. So yeah, it's not just water sports and outdoor activities, but it's much more than that. It will be indoor events, it will be talks or workshops on the mezzanine level, or simply group meetings. And as you can see, it will be a fantastic location. And once it's finished, it will have the most amazing views. Again, next slide, please. Thank you. This is the Wave. So this was a product of the Millennium Project back in 1999-2000. It was looking a bit tired, so WHC collaborated with a range of SMEs in the local supply chain to refurbish and relight the iconic structure. This is on the Lime Tongue. So we worked with Forth Engineering and others, and a whole new LED light strip was designed, 3D printed as well, and it's now lit mostly Thursday to Sunday evenings, and the colour is often dictated by different themed days, and we'll often work with charities to acknowledge kind of national themed events. We also get approached occasionally by families or friends asking for it to be lit for a specific colour on a certain day or in memorial for somebody, which we're happy to oblige. And this helps generate, they usually make a token like a donation, and this helps generate a little bit of revenue, which sits alongside rent received from tenants across the estate, income from the Rum Story, attraction and shops, and mainly our car parks, which obviously people have a negative view about, but honestly, when you pay to park on our car parks, every single penny does go back into the harbour and further afield, and it does allow us to carry on the maintenance, look at the nice to have and pretty things, and put on free festivals for the community as well. Next slide, please. And the Rum Story. So the Rum Story Reimagined, one of the mainstays of what we do is our visitor attraction. And this tells the story of Whitehaven's history of the rum trade across 3 floors of interactive experiences. And we recently submitted a very exciting partnership bid with anti-racist Cumbria to National Lottery Heritage Fund to reimagine the Rum Story. So we're looking to really revisit and refresh how we tell the story of Whitehaven's links to enslavement, and work with the community groups to explore the further development of the attraction, what it should be, how we present everything. Very much getting the kind of the community voice, looking at education, looking at hyper-local education. And obviously, you know, we're not ignoring history, but recognising it, but learning from it as well, and telling the story in the right way. And of course, we want to maintain our connection with the Jefferson family. You know, we wouldn't be here today without them and their whole family story, but we do need to reflect on the impact that certain activities had on enslaved people. So we are hoping to trumpet more about that project very, very soon. So watch this space, and there will be opportunities to get involved. Next slide, please. So from painters to performers, from speakers to sailors, from walkers to waders, our harbour is a popular attraction for all, not just people from Whitehaven, but from all over, and residents and thousands of visitors every year. We see lots of footfall across the year, but we're also open to new ideas for using the spaces differently or presenting unusual feel-good events to give everyone a boost. We ourselves also have a Harbour 2030 vision, which we're developing, which focuses on opportunities for people to stay longer. So not just getting transient footfall, they then spend money in the area and help the wider economy. And we're also part of the High Street Task Force to really look at how we can link the harbour better with the town itself. And next slide, please. I think that should be the last one. So those are some contact details, website, my contact details. Check us out on socials as well. It's just a whistle-stop tour of what we do and kind of a bit of my role in general. But please do contact me if you wish to know more, and especially if you're interested in getting involved in helping to develop, to deliver the Edge, the community outcomes around the Edge, or workshops or activities or courses or performances or other initiatives or whatever. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. What beautiful images as well. Lovely presentation. Sue
Thank you.
asks, How does the Beacon fit into your plans? Do the Harbour Commission collaborate with them on joint projects, for example?
Yes, we do. And obviously, the Beacon is council run, but we do very much. I mean, pretty much we collaborate with anybody around the Harbour estate, and we couldn't do what we do without them. So the Beacon, you know, very much around kind of exhibitions and kind of encouraging visitors into the area. So and the Edge, once the Edge is up and running, will give us even more opportunities to work with the Beacon. So at the moment, we're a bit limited because we're very much outdoor space and Beacon are very much indoor space. And then the Rum Story itself, we have our visitor attraction on Lowther Street. We actually have shared vouchers between the two. So when visitors come to one, you can get discount offers, reductions between the two. So we very much absolutely cross promote. But we are a completely different space. So we don't compete. We utterly work together, and we're looking to do more initiatives together. And actually the Beacon got involved very much with Harbour Fest last year, and we're hoping we'll very much so do the same this year too.
I came down last summer to chat to Tom Salmon with his eco rig, which was great, and it was in the middle of one of the musical festivals going on. I noticed the brown water was still there, Deanne. Has that been sorted? Because that's been a real bone of contention for, you know, is that like an old mine shaft or something? Is that been
it's a massive issue, and it's really frustrating from our side of things. So for those of you who don't know, since November the 14th, 2022, there's been some orange brown water apparent in the harbour, and it's seeping a lot further across the whole of the harbour now. Frustratingly, it's coming out of the culvert in Queen's Dock in the corner. So our culvert comes into our harbour. We do not own what is coming out of the culvert. So we are the recipients, we are the victims. We cannot control what is coming out. It's really frustrating. It's coming through Branstey Tunnel. We know that it's seeping through the walls. So it's impacting on Network Rail. And to a certain extent, they are essentially our polluters, but they are also a victim because it's coming from somewhere else first. It seems to be coming from old mine workings. There's been a lot of tests and studies taking place. We've shouted as much as we can, but we are really hand-tied because wherever it's coming from, it's on somebody else's land. So we are really limited in what we can do. We also, as you've seen, we don't have a lot of finances or resources ourselves, so we can't just throw the kitchen sink at trying to find solutions. However, very, very exciting. I can't really say much about it at the moment, but in the last 2 weeks, there has been a community project taking place, a funded community project involving engineers, brilliant minds who have been doing a most amazing work that we could not have even dreamed of doing ourselves. And I'm about to have a presentation next week and a discussion with local MP and council. And we think there might be some solutions identified. It will require significant funding. It's not going to be an immediate solution overnight, but I just feel like it's giving us somewhere to go. So for us to then go to the regulators and the authorities and say, here you go, here's your package. Let's look at how we can work on this together. Because we don't want to point fingers. We don't want to look to put blame. We just want to work together to get our harbour back to the beautiful gem it once was.
Yeah, okay. You're good at your role, Deanne. You can ask questions well. Karen says, can you put your details into chat, please?
I will do.
That would be lovely. And Derek is off to Whitehaven this morning. So Derek, you'll enjoy a nice 99 ice cream, no doubt, by that harbour.
By the orange water.
By the orange water, yeah. Listen, great. I love Whitehaven. I love going to Whitehaven. And it sounds like it's really exciting what you're doing there, Deanne. You're chucking energy at it as well. And it would seem that there's creative opportunities in different guises for people as well. So
absolutely,
congratulations on that. And, you know, all the hard work, collaboration, blah, blah, blah. But you'll be good at that. So thank you for sharing that with us this morning.
Thank you.
And stay in touch about developments with the Rum Story, particularly. That sounds really interesting too.
Thank you.
But we can just troop up north, up the coast now a few miles. Because actually there's stuff going on in Workington as well. Obviously, Workington and Whitehaven, very friendly towns. They really love each other, and there's lots of friendship there and collaboration, no doubt. But Anne is involved in helping make stuff happen on an art trail there. So Anne, the floor is now yours. Thank you, Deanne, for that. The floor is now yours, Anne, and Amy will pull up your slides.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It's absolutely lovely, Deanne, to hear about what's going on in Whitehaven. The harbour area is beautiful, and I love walking around it when I get the opportunity. So that was really inspiring, and we're going to go a little bit further up the coast now to Workington. For those of you that don't know me, I'm an artist, and I also do some creative consultancy as well. That's quite broad, but in this case it involves helping Cumberland Council with commissioning artists to create artwork and co-create artwork with the community for Workington Art Trail, which will be happening over the winter. And by employing an artist freelancer to do this, the council are making sure that a lot of a higher proportion of the funding they're receiving from the Arts Council can go directly to freelancers, and we can make these commissions really artist-centred. So I'm very, very excited about these opportunities, and it's lovely to see a good group of freelance artists on the call today to hear about them as well. So if I could have the next slide, please, Amy. Great. So what is Workington Art Trail? It's a new initiative. It will be happening between December this year and February next year. So it's on for about 3 months. It's happening in partnership with Workington Light and Sound Show, which you will hear more about at some date in the future. And that is being organised in partnership with another bunch of absolutely fantastic creators as well. So the Light and Sound Show happens in the first weekend in December, and the Art Trail is designed to fit around that. It's centered around shop window installations by artists, and the objectives are around initially increasing footfall across the town centre, particularly to some of the independent retailers. But it's also about really igniting creative sparks in the community and ensuring that people in this community have access to really exciting, ambitious contemporary art and can have a really good think about, you know, what can art in this community actually be. So it's a really, really lovely initiative. If we could have the next slide, please. So there are commissions live now for artists. Initially, we're looking for 3 artists, but we're hoping to secure additional funding over the next few months. So there might well be more than 3 opportunities in the end, which would be great. The activity for the artists will take place between May this year and December. And there's a good budget. We're paying Artists Union just over Artists Union rates. There's a budget of £2,560 artist fee per artist, plus a travel budget, plus a materials and production budget. And for that fee, we're looking for artists to run a workshop or a collaborative activity with a group in the community and co-create an artwork with that group. We're also asking the artists to create their own personal artwork as well. So often engagement projects for freelancers involve making work with a group or supporting a group to make work. But it's really important for artists to be able to make their own artwork and in response to these opportunities as well. So the artists will be tasked with creating 2 artworks, one of their own and one with a group in the community. And these will be exhibited in the shop windows in Workington for the duration of the art trail. If we could have the next slide, please. Thank you. So who are we looking for these opportunities? We are looking for artists with a socially engaged practice, and we hear that term an awful lot. But what we mean is artists with experience in working with groups in the community to create artwork. So either with adults or with young people or with vulnerable people or with all of those groups. So socially engaged practice is really important. We're also looking for artists who have, I suppose, a track record of creating really exciting contemporary artwork that's inspired by place or inspired by community, because that's what we're aiming for as part of this project. We'd like you to have experience of working collaboratively with organisations and with other artists. And we're also looking for artists with an engaging online presence. So that means a social media presence and a web presence of some sort. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be posting, 10 times a week and be on there all the time. It just means that you have to have a positive, constructive, engaging presence online. And we need to be able to see kind of evidence of your practice and your aesthetic and a nice, honest picture of who you are as an artist. We're looking for artists based in Northwest Cumbria, and there's a really clear set of postcodes on the website and further information. And we're stating that we'll prioritise applications from within those postcodes. And that's for a couple of reasons. One is that part of the remit of this project is to develop the creative arts in and around Workington, and that includes supporting freelancers that are working in that area and based in that area. And it's also because it means we can devote as much of the budget as possible to actually creating artwork rather than paying for long distance travel or accommodation. Okay. We're looking for people with at least 3 to 5 years of experience as an artist, and the Arts Council, the Artists Union rates that we're paying reflect that. Next slide, please. So how to apply? We're operating a two-stage application process. And this is in recognition that sometimes applying for open calls for artists can be really, really time consuming. It's unpaid work, and often the chance of success is very, very low. So we're having a stage one process with a deadline of the 1st of March, which is a really quite a quick online form just to express your interest in being involved in the project. It requires tick boxes, it requires some factual answers, and a total of about 150 words of creative thought. So it's not a huge application. Once we have those applications in, we will shortlist artists, and those artists will be entered into stage 2 of the process. And stage 2 involves those shortlisted artists being paid a token fee of £100 per artist to further develop their proposal. And the deadline for that will be the 1st of April, and then we will select the commissioned artist from that shortlist. So at least, although it's probably not going to pay for all of the time you spend on the application, it's an acknowledgement that you know, this is unpaid work for artists. And hopefully, I mean, I know a lot of artists who don't tend to apply for open calls for some of the reasons I've explained, and hopefully this would encourage some of those people to get involved in the process and to apply. So it's paid proposal development, which is a really nice model and an artist-centered model. And from those shortlisted artists, we'll commission 3 initially, but then if we secure extra funding over subsequent months, then the artists that develop their proposals as part of that process would be invited to take part in those additional commissions as well. So I feel like it's quite a nice opportunity, and I would be really delighted to see artists from across the geographical area in North and West Cumbria taking part. All the information is available at workingtonarttrail.com. There's quite a long PDF document there. If you download it, you can use your PDF reader to read it out loud if you need to. And the application form itself is also linked on there, and that has an immersive reader as well. If anybody would like to apply using a different method or in a different format, there's an email address there. Please get in touch with your access rider if you have one, and we can discuss individual applications that need support on a case-by-case basis. So thank you very much for the time, and thank you for listening. And I don't know if we've got time for a question or two, Tom?
Yes, we have. I'm just looking at a couple
Fab.
of comments. As Chris says, a brilliantly thorough and supportive setup, it seems, and I think he's absolutely right in that. What's the drive? It's always interesting to know what the driver is behind these projects. So has someone suddenly become artistically interested on the council, or you know, where's this come from?
Well, gosh, we've been cooking this up for a really long time. So I'm working with Ellie Jones at Cumberland Council, who's based in what was the previous Allerdale office over in Workington. Yeah. And she's an event specialist for the council, and she's always been interested in delivering creative projects. She completely understands the need for the huge benefit, the raft of benefits that bringing creative projects to places like this can deliver. And we spoke, it must be probably 2 years ago, about developing this, and she's been working with a bid writer and with the Arts Council over that period of time, and secured the funding relatively recently to go ahead with it. So I feel as if there's an increased motivation to bring creative stuff to the town. The light and sound show is going to be really exciting as well. I don't know an awful lot about that, but hopefully next time we bring this to the call, Ellie will be able to come to and explain a bit more about all of that. And for me, the driver to get involved is the opportunity to make this process really artist focused and really develop the opportunities for artists in the area, of which there are not a great deal. So
yeah, which it clearly is. Amy, thanks for putting the link in there to chat for people to find out more about it, as Anne has talked about the website. Al asks, do you already have community groups in mind for artists to work with, Anne?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, we do. We have groups connected to primary schools. We have various groups in the community who might be elderly groups, disabled groups that might struggle to access arts opportunities or feel that arts opportunities are for them. At the moment, I think we've got more groups in mind than we necessarily have artists or commissions, but we will try to match the artists with the groups based on the artist's previous experience, preference, and kind of find a good fit between them as well. Okay, hope that helps, Al.
Great, thank you. Rosie says, this is wonderful, Anne. You've got some fans in the way you've approached it, Anne, so well done.
Right. Well, just quickly, another reason that I wanted to do this was if we can introduce this as a template for really, really good artist-centered commissioning, then hopefully other people and organisations can take some of these ideas on board and include them in their own commissioning processes as well. So it's a start, it's small steps, but it feels really positive. So it's great to hear good feedback from artists. Thank you very much. And get your applications in and spread the word.
So just remind us again of deadlines, Anne.
First deadline is the 1st of March. Second deadline is the 1st of April. Everything's at workingtonarttrail.com.
Great, smashing. Thanks very much for sharing that. And
Thanks a lot.
good luck with that, because it sounds like a great thing that's going on there. Terrific, and well done, Workington, for making that all happen too. Right, well, let's go from the West Coast down to sunny Barrow, where I'm sure the sun is shining and the sky is blue, because it's time to see what's going on at ArtGene. And hopefully, if all goes well, I'm going to encourage you, if you pin, you'll see someone on the call called Rachel's iPhone, and there's Maddie and Rachel. If you pin that by using the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner of that window, you'll get them big. And Rachel and Maddie are now going to take over the call for about the next 10 minutes. And just give us a little tour around ArtGene and also the exciting things that are launching there this very evening, I believe. So, Rachel and Maddie, if all goes well, the floor is yours.
Lovely, thank you very much. Just want to show the picture.
Sorry, bear with me. I'm just going to turn it around.
And this is where it freezes. This is where it freezes as they try to turn the camera. There we go.
Coming to do the final exhibition. So I'm just going to walk you in. It's all a bit, you know, last minute setup. So we've got a big ladder here. As you can see, we've got Miranda and Rinsky and putting up the final bits and pieces. Let's go under the ladder. We have, if you're from Barrow, there is this amazing moose here, which was part of Tom's installation of Pinto Piano. We managed to get this back to here. So
just going to take you around just to see that.
We also have amazing banner that was in Theatre Factory's performance in the Kiln. This is part of Barrow history, and it was in the 1988 strike that was in Barrow. Loads of other artworks along the routes, and we had artist in residence, Sarah Hardacre, here in 2023, and she was doing some amazing works with collage. And this is our Tower of Light, which was a big feat to get it up here. It won't fall down, honest. But these are her collages and historic photos from the Signal Film and Media Archive. So you've heard about that in the past. Then round to, we've also got Colin Aldred, who's been working with the Liverpool Philharmonic, and this is Beethoven's Fifth, plus his artworks of Barrow, scenes of Barrow. And then over to here, he's also done, as part of this programme, a project with us in the very first year whilst in lockdown, and he created Rediscover Barrow, a sort of film of the history of the town, so through all of the different shops. I'm just doing edited highlights here for people. Also, as part of Tom's installation, this is one of the fantastic artworks. Rachel's going to demonstrate it here, done by Artsply. Chris and Jenny Dennett, who were on, I think, one of the previous calls. So that's a lovely weirdy cabinet. Round the corner. Oh, how about we have artworks from local pipe vendor
Matthew Cullen,
who has done fantastic drawings of the street, all down from the town hall to Ramsden Square, where the library is. And then,
sorry, pop around.
We're going to give it all. And then over here, still sorting up here, Signal Film and Media was an amazing film, which was had a big performance and launch in the town, and hopefully they'll get some awards for this because it's smashing. Really fantastic, called Wishbone. Also, we've got another film piece by artist from Alderson, John Hall. Very lovely historic film here. Just give you a little snippet of it in our little sort of triangle. So that's just a quick whiz round.
Yeah.
We're also going to take you down to, because it's a 2 for deal. So 2 for the price of 1. We have, well, I'm walking backwards.
Sorry.
Hey, walking backwards to Christmas. So we're going to go downstairs, past the cleaning things.
That's not there.
So two for deal, and we're going to meet artist Julie O'Neill, who has been from West Cumbria, and she's from Workington. And she's been working around Marshall and Chemical Factory and did an exhibition last year there. And then this is work from a mini residency that we've had with her that's developed further. So artist Julie O'Neill, this is your works here.
A dramatic pause for effect.
The Wi-Fi is particularly bad in the mezzanine. Oh dear.
Well, just pause. Hopefully it might come back and they might realise. So Maddie, if you can hear me, it's frozen. Has anyone got a hotline to Maddie? I like that blue box. That's quite nice. On top of the black box.
Can you see that Jo is running down the steps to talk to Maddie as we speak? She's set off at a pace. It's quite exciting, really.
So we're just going to pause to reflect on what we've absorbed so far while we try and sort out the technicals. And by the way, that Sankey article in The Guardian today, which is obviously lots of lovely black and white images of Barrow that Derek mentioned earlier, really worth having a look at. Some gorgeous photos of Barrow in its heyday. Not that it's not in its heyday now. Oh, here we go.
Do we do it via voice?
Yes, we can hear, we can see and
Here
hear.
we go. We're back on again. Hello?
All is
Hiya,
good. All is
hi.
good. All is good.
Sorry about that. I think our Wi-Fi went down when we came down the stairs, or it's probably looking at my behind walking down the stairs. So over to Julie now.
Yeah, just take you very quickly around the exhibition. It's a multi-disciplined exhibition. So you'll see lots of things in our cabinet here. We have memorabilia, we have fragments of process. And aphorisms feature quite heavily in the exhibition, as you can see by some of the things in the cabinet. Other things that we have on the wall here, we have a piece, All That Glitters. So that's an aphorism which features in other parts of the work as well. Also brought a piece of work which is from my last exhibition at the Beacon in Whitehaven. And that exhibition was early 2023. This was about the chemical industry Marchand in Whitehaven. So this is a piece that I've brought in because it all ties in with the themes of home and workplaces as well for the exhibition and the ongoing research. And we have a triptych here of 3 pieces, and these all relate to ideas around industry and nature sitting side by side. So this is the 3 collage pieces there. Yeah, so I've got a central sculptural piece, and this is all around ideas to do with reimagined futures. So this is a little abstract piece here.
Julie, somebody was asking me what is made of. Can you tell us?
So the little sculptural components, they're solid pieces, and they're made from jesmonite, which is if anybody, I mean, some people might be familiar with it anyway, but it's similar to plaster, but it's a non-toxic version, and it has a finish which is very marble-like. Another piece at the end here is a little bit of my writing. Gathering gold in a field of quantum, the seas of change, shifting things held close, our anchors dancing in front of our eyes, both visible and invisible. And that relates to our relationships with objects as agents of memory, really. But they are all linked to community.
Okay. Oh. So should we just go over here? So just want to say, to come as well, Julie, just to say that so everybody's welcome tonight. It's 6:30 here in the Nantate Centre. It's free, which is great. We always do a good do, nice bit of food. some wine to drink, plenty of parking in the car park. I know it might be snowing elsewhere, but it's absolutely beautiful in Barrow. There's people outside in bikinis, I'm telling you. Do come, it'll be lovely. And if you can't manage it tonight, we're going to be open for 2 weeks, not on a Sunday, we need to sleep. So we're open for 2 weeks, and then after that, by appointment. And Rachel was saying something there to me.
So we're open Monday to Saturday, 11 till 4.
Lovely, thank you, that's really good. So please come along, it's great. And also you can bring, after 2 weeks, it's open by appointment. So if you've got a group that you're interested in bringing, you can just give us a call and we can give you a bespoke tour, days, evenings, weekends, whatever's useful. So often we take round artist groups and give a kind of a talk that way, as well as schools groups and community groups. So yeah, do come, it'd be good. And it'd be nice to see everybody in the rest of Cumbria, because yeah, down here we're a bit on the end of dropping off. All right.
Maddie,
Okay,
thank you.
Tom?
Can you hear me, Maddie?
We can,
Yeah.
So Kate's observing, she's enjoying how you've coordinated with the walls today.
Well, absolutely. I dressed to match the interiors. Yes.
The whole thing looks fabulous.
If I take my jacket off, I get lost in the wall.
We'd lose you completely.
Yes, indeed.
And was it always planned to have both starting on the same date?
Yes, it was planned. So it just means it's more to see, really. And also one benefits from the other. So, you know, a single person's exhibition can often not bring in as many people as a big group show.
Yeah.
But it benefits the individual artists. So, you know, we're really keen to do that. Nice to have the 2 spaces full.
Yeah.
For sure. Sue's just saying the whole thing looks fabulous. Al's saying good luck for tonight, Julie. What a fascinating exhibition. And lots of people saying what, and also I think Chris said, Maddie, you're the Jules Holland of the Maddie's the Jules Holland of visual arts.
Well, thank you so much there, Chris. But if you heard me sing and play musical instruments, you'd probably take that away. It's all in the art world, but thank you.
I did say visual.
At least I'm visual, grand stuff.
And Rachel, excellent. Were you on the camera the whole time?
I was, yeah, that was my filming skills.
Well
Excellent.
done.
I kind of feel like we should do this a bit more often. It's great to have a really lovely look around inside, and you know, when you're just getting the installation completed, it's good to sort of see a bit of panic and a bit of tension going on in the background as well. As
There is a bit of panic and tension going on. You're telling me there's one, you know, various bits and pieces we've still got to get really sorted, but it'll all be fabulous for tonight, as always.
How long are both exhibitions open for? Can you just remind me?
So it's open for 2 weeks, 11 till 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, including Saturdays, no Sundays, and then after that by appointment. But you never know.
2 weeks, I think, until the 13th of April.
Until the 13th of April.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know we'll have it here. We're not moving it, but bigger groups are more welcome then.
Great. I'm just making sure there's no more questions or observations in this chat. Yeah. So more Annika Rice maybe.
Yeah, very Annika Rice. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's great. Thank you ever so
If
much.
only I was as lovely as her.
And the Wi-Fi held up. I think Joe put some more coins in the meter and the Wi-Fi came
She
back.
did. I know. Big old buildings like this, God knows, I think it can't go through the walls, that Wi-Fi. It's a bit weird.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Good luck. And
Thank you,
Thank you very
Tom.
much.
We'll go now. Okay,
yeah, lovely to see
thanks.
you. Thank you ever so much. Lovely stuff. And yeah, can Kate do it when Tully reopens? All sorts of options on some.
I'll get practicing now.
Excellent. I'm just going to try and unpin what I've just done there now so that everyone's back on the gallery view. Here we go. Lovely. Okay, lovely. Well, that's great to see. I've never been inside Art Gym before, so that was really interesting to have a look around actually. It's a lovely sort of red brick building, isn't it? On the street there, just up the road from Signal. And the Emlyn Hughes statue, which again is a favourite of mine, outside the Barrow Furnace Building Society, I think it is. Yeah. Andrew, I'm looking at Andrew and Chris, they're nodding, so at least I've got that bit right. Lovely stuff. Well, you know, I know Amy is going down there this evening to Barrow, and I'm sure other Barrovians will be aiming to get across to that this evening as well. Really great stuff going on there from Julie and Rachel and Maddie and Joe putting the coins in the meter. Right, I think that's it for this. I'm just checking chat again. Anybody else got anything to say? Jumpsuit ready for Kate. Rosie, quick plug for your talk at Studio Moreland. Rosie, give us 30 seconds on that.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, so Kate invited me to talk about my practice on Friday the 23rd of February at Studio Moreland, and I will just be doing a sofa chat with Kate, just talking about my sketchbook work and how my creative thinking processes and how I arrive at ideas. I'll be leaving work there for a couple of weeks, but it's mostly just going to be sketchbooks, works in progress pinned to the wall, just a sort of looking at, the thinking that goes on before you arrive at a final piece, just to share that process. So it's called Where Does the Art Stop and the Artist Begin? Because, for me, my artwork's very, very emotional and very personal based in a lot of ways, but that doesn't necessarily come through to the final work. But there will be wine and nibbles, and it should be a jolly evening. So it'd be lovely to see people there.
Sounds great. So that's Friday, February 23rd, yeah?
Yes, I think there is booking on the Studio Moreland website, but
Okay.
I don't think it's absolutely necessary, so you can just turn up.
Okay, lovely. Thanks very much, Rosie. Next week, we have Maryport Literary Festival lined up so far. And also the lovely Karen is going to tell us about the exhibition that's just opened, I think, in Carlisle, for looking back on the 60 years of the Carlisle Institute of the Arts and various people that have been through the doors. And I think there's plenty of work to look at as well. So Karen's going to give us a bit of a history lesson. If you've got Cumbria Life magazine this month, there's a lovely article by Karen all about that, which is really worth reading as well. So we're going to hear about that next week as well. But we've been on the West Coast this morning. We've been down to Barrow, and we've been live inside Art Gene. So it's been all right this morning. Thank you very much to Deanne, to Anne, to Maddie and Rachel and Julie and Joe. Look forward to seeing you next time. And I'm off to London this weekend to go watch West Ham against Arsenal. That's my cultural experience. So I'm not hopeful. I'm a Hammer, have been since I was 6, but I'm not hopeful. But look out for the football results on Sunday afternoon, and I'll reflect on that probably in about 5 seconds next week. All right, nice to see you all. Thanks, everybody.